Did you ever notice how you can hold your piss forever when you're in bed, but as soon as you're like, I'm getting up, your bladder is like, fucking get this out of me immediately or you're gonna pee your pants? There's only one explanation. Scientists in the 1700s be like, there's only one explanation. The bed is eating your piss. I was thinking about it, we hold these truths to be self-evident. We are alive in the contemporary era. That's a truism. 30 years ago when you were alive, it was the contemporary era. 30 years from now when you're alive, it's the contemporary era. When I was living in 1996, this might blow your mind if you're like a young Zoomer, but I was not like, whoa, it's 1996. Whoa, dude, look at the fashion. It's 1996. I was just like, okay, it's Monday. Let's go to third grade. The 1996 was our 2023 back then. But what I was thinking about is like, imagine you're like a scientist that had a competing theory of evolution with Charles Darwin, but then you like died before Charles Darwin got his flowers. You know what I mean? You may have died thinking that you and Charles Darwin were like on the same level, and then you don't even know that like 200 years later, your name is like a euphemism for being stupid. Isn't that funny? It's like the inverted version of the guy who invented lead paint. People were like, thank you. He died a hero. Thank you for making it way less likely for our houses to burn down. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, we got like the opposite is like Jean-Sébastien Lamarck is like, I die as one of the two eminent scientists in my domain. Dude's looking down on us from heaven right now like, no! Is there a person who died a villain and became a hero? That's interesting. That's an interesting question. I'm sure there's lots of possible answers. There's got to be one that we can like kind of agree on. Genghis Khan? Listen, no. I don't think Genghis Khan died. Well, I would say he probably died a villain through most lenses. I don't think he's become a hero. I think if anything, he died a villain, and then with the contemporary lens, he's seen as even more villainous, perhaps. Was that true, by the way? I saw a post on X, and I don't know if this is, whether it's true or not. It's not like I was like, hey, let me Snopes this. I laughed at it, and thus I was like, I don't care if it's real, okay? It was like top 10 most tragic celebrity pet deaths. And then like number 5 was Martha Stewart's dog apparently died in a propane tank explosion, and her dog was named Genghis Khan. Is this real? This is from like 15 years ago or something. What's funny about it? Why the hell did she have a dog named Genghis Khan? This kind of messed up. Like, I get that it's from, the Genghis Khan stuff went down like 700, 800 years ago, but at the same time, it's like having a cat named, Thanos, another really bad guy. Listen, I'm still telling, are we just glossing over the fact that Martha Stewart named her dog Genghis Khan? No, we're not. Yeah, who cares? It's fine. I mean, it's fine in the sense that like she's not hurting anybody, but it's like a very strange name to choose, considering the dude, is responsible for the deaths of like millions of people. Oh, but it was so long ago. It's kind of like, you're still mad about that? You're still, I'm not mad about it. It's just, I guess of all the names she could have chosen, why would she choose Genghis Khan? She could have just called him like Fido or something. She said, no, man, Genghis Khan. I guess I can't really talk. I had a pet hamster as a kid named Ashurbanipal. Named what? Ashurbanipal, one of the most militant leaders of the Assyrians. Listen to a podcast sometime. Hang on. Pop out chat. Control-Shift-N. Genghis Khan, Martha Stewart. Ooh, Martha Stewart. On June 21st, Martha Stewart shared on Instagram that a relative of her late dog, Genghis Khan, won Best of Breed for the Chow Chow at the 146th Westminster Dog Show. Martha Stewart's Chow Chow, a 2-year-old named Genghis Khan, won Best in Breed competition on Monday at the Westminster Dog Show. But why, I feel like, okay, why did Martha Stewart name her dog Genghis Khan? Martha Stewart's most well-known pet is her Chow Chow, Genghis Khan. Yeah, I know, but why? She has 2 Chow Chows named Emperor Han and Empress Chin. Come on, lady, what are you doing? What is she? I know she's 80. She's gonna get canceled. She's an ex-convict. Come on. And this isn't the first time Stewart's named a pet after a Mongolian warlord. What are you talking about? Okay. As you may have heard, Martha Stewart's new Chow puppy, Genghis Khan, whom she adopted after the tragic death of her previous Chow, Kublai Khan, Paw Chow Chow Chow. Lady, you need to stop this immediately. So she had a dog named Kublai Khan, Paw Chow Chow Chow. It died in a tragic accident, and then you named your next dog Genghis Khan and it died in a propane tank explosion. I'm not saying it deserved it. I'm saying, at some point you got to start asking questions about her ability to own pets, okay? I can't read this article. It's just insane. Our favorite comment from Martha Stewart's blog comes from a cat. Writes Precious, I am a kitty, but because you are both so adorable, I will read your dog blog. Please tell your mommy she's looking especially beautiful these days. Is it a new hairstyle? See if you can find her secret. My mommy would really like to know. Can you imagine being the person with the brain who compelled him to write this stuff? This is crazy to me. But let's not let it distract from the fact Martha Stewart had a dog named Kublai Khan, Paw Chow Chow Chow. It died, and hang on, I'm now looking into its death. I will not be. Continue reading Martha Stewart's dog died. Try unlimited access to the Intelligencer for up to 60% off, starting at just $1. What is happening to the internet, man? Actually, this is from 2008. So never mind. No, that was me putting in my payout information so that I could pay for New York Magazine. That was not me opening an incognito window and then pasting the URL into it so that I could just read it for free. The writers, bro, this is from 2008, okay? They've been fired for like 10 years. They've already transitioned into another industry ages ago. How was the Peloton ride this morning? It was good. 30-minute Callie Gullickson arms and shoulders. Previously, I've been doing 30-minute upper body, but honestly, it's kind of ironic, but it feels like my shoulder kind of got tweaked, probably because one of the exercises is basically just do push-ups until your shoulder falls off. So instead, I changed it up, followed it up with a 20-minute Emma Lovewell core, followed it up with 30-minute Charlotte Wiedenbach Hidden Hills, total output 369, average wattage 201, I think. But I set a PB, my hour-long PB on Sunday, 60 minutes, 750-something watts, or 750-something kilojoules average wattage, low 210s. Friday, I had set a new PB on a 30-minute ride. I'm kind of on my crazy, I'm kind of going ham taro mode. You know, like I need to do, I think I could probably PB a 45-minute ride tomorrow or on Thursday maybe. I got it all lined up. 45-minute Sam Yo Hidden Hills from 2 weeks ago. 27-minute long interval section in the middle. Oh, baby. They don't really do that very often. Usually it's like 1 minute on, 1 minute off. Sam Yo said today we're going to work. And I respect that. You see Barbie? Nope. Didn't see Barbie, didn't see Oppenheimer. Did have a 13,000 like tweet where I just copied the image of the Barbie versus Oppenheimer map and quote tweeted it and said, can I say something without people getting mad? I have absolutely no idea why it has 13,000 likes, but it went insane. I didn't even make the map. Also, there's like crazy people in the comments. Like it got that popular or that viral, I guess. Like there was somebody in the mentions I saw this morning that was like, can somebody tell me why this Oppenheimer movie is famous? I've never heard about it. No matter what, whenever a movie comes out, there's always somebody who's like, did the marketing department just completely drop the ball on this one? I've never even heard of this movie. And then you're like, oh, really? Because there were ads everywhere. And they're like, oh yeah, I sold my computer in 2001. I haven't owned a TV since like 1973. I don't listen to the radio. I'm like, well, the marketing, it's always like, what are they supposed to do? Send people like door to door to your house? Knock, knock, knock. There's a new movie coming out next weekend. It's called Oppenheimer. Like, it's your own fault for living in Iowa. I almost said Ohio. I was saying, well, maybe we're knocking on. Oh, okay. Hang on. I'm being called. I'm back. They were about to leave. My daughter realized she didn't have her Toy Story doll. Ran upstairs, got the Toy Story doll. Brought it back down. She's wearing a parka because it's raining. She couldn't get her arms out of the parka in order to hold the doll. So then my wife had to get her arms out of the parka. Then I gave her the doll. And I said, have a good day. And I locked the door. And then I got 10 steps away, and then my wife knocked on the door, and I opened it, and she said, why did you lock the door? And I said, so people don't break into our house. And then she said, don't lock the door. We're still outside. And I said, okay. And then I said, have a good day. No, I did not lock it after that. I guess she'll lock it when she's ready to lock it. Would you love her if she was a worm? I would probably love her if she was a worm. If she was a worm, I would stay married to her out of inertia, for sure. But if we met when she was a worm, I probably wouldn't have married her. Simply because, I don't want my house to be that dirty. And I feel like a worm needs like a lot of dirt to be happy. It's not wormist. It's just me saying that I think I would be incompatible with a worm. It's the same. It's not offensive. It's like I wouldn't marry a shark because a shark needs to like constantly swim, and I only like to swim some of the time. So I'm sure my ass would be like treading water, and then my shark wife would be like, I gotta swim to breathe. And I'd be like, fine, go find yourself or whatever. What animal would you marry? A human being? I think that's a great question. I am not going to answer. I'm smart enough not to answer it. What animal would you marry if you didn't marry a human? I'm not answering it. You answer it. Martha Stewart's dog? I would not get anywhere near Martha Stewart's dog. I'm not making light of this situation, okay? I'm just saying there's like those dogs have a track record of dying in mysterious circumstances after being given problematic names. / marker. Those. I've been stalling long enough. You ever notice how you can hold your pee forever when you're like in bed? Like you could wake up at like 5 a.m. and have to pee and just be like, not now. And then go back to sleep for like 2.5 hours. Then when you wake up, if you don't go to the bathroom within 15 seconds upon waking up, your bladder is like, I'm going to piss in your underwear. Like I wake up roughly at 6 a.m. every morning, okay? I'm not to brag. Sometimes I'll wake up at 6, have to pee a little bit, not much, and then go, nah, I'm going to snooze it. I get up at 6:20 and I'm like, leisurely roll out of bed, stretch a little bit. Then I go to the kitchen. I go to pour myself a cup of cold brew, and my bladder is like, if you pour that before you drain the lizard in the toilet, I'm going to pee all over the kitchen floor. It's like something switches in your brain as soon as, maybe it's gravity. Is it gravity? Is it easier to hold your pee if you're laying down versus standing up? Because I always thought it was like my brain switching from like, delta waves to alpha waves or whatever. What's the Joe Rogan pill called? I don't know. I've been taking it. I don't look at the bottle. Alpha brain. Never mind. But does that mean you could hold your... Me, if I had to hold my Wii for a Wii, I would simply do a handstand. Because then it's like the piss would be... There'd be so much more room for piss, I guess is what I'm trying to say. How does that help? Because you're not fighting gravity. Gravity's fighting you. That's not how it works. What are you, like a fucking gymnast urologist? No one's ever tried it before. Listen, get in, loser. We're winning a Wii, okay? You're probably the same dude. Joey Chestnut, age 16, was like, I'm going to try dipping the hot dogs in water. And you were like, that'll never work, kid. Just eat faster. Now, your ass is Salieri and he's Mozart. How does that make you feel? Gold, coconuts, and cashews. Raw cotton. Raw is in unprocessed. I understand. Other vegetable residues. Me when all the tortilla chips are gone, but I'm still using my grubby little fingers to pick up the nacho toppings. Sawn wood. Other pure vegetable oils. Do you see the post on Reddit where the guy was asking the Waffle House if they use seed oils to cook the hash browns? And he said, do you use lard, bacon grease, butter, beef tallow, or ghee, clarified butter? And then somebody replied and said, we use soybean oil. And he said, are you sure you don't use beef tallow, comma, lard, comma, butter, comma, ghee, open parentheses, clarified butter, close parentheses? It got me good, man. This man's at the Waffle House thinking they're cooking their hash browns in ghee. It's 99 cents for 4. Yeah, we use ghee. Sorry. That's why it's so cheap. I have no idea what this is, but I think that it is a country in Africa. I'm going to say it's Mozambique. It is on the west coast of Africa. The northwest coast of Africa. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say this is Benin. Oh! Do you know why I said Benin? Well, at first I thought Ivory Coast, and then I thought to myself, I imagine ivory would be up here. But then I was like, there's probably not that much ivory exporting these days. It's like an antiquated term. But anyway, or an antiquated resource. Regardless, you're absolutely right. I always forget Benin exists. So I thought, you know what? Let's bring Benin top of mind so that if it shows up in one of the other geography games, I won't forget about it this time. People are like, how does Benin export $2 billion? Brother, Elon Musk paid $44 billion for Twitter. Money doesn't mean anything anymore or something. I haven't really thought it through completely before I did the bit, but hey, NL's meme machine, thank you for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Thank you. I would rather capture 22 years of Benin's total exports than buy Twitter. That's just my 2 cents. Maybe they're not for sale. It is not Benin. You ever notice Benin kind of looks like a thing, like a Pez dispenser. Kind of looks like a Donald Duck Pez dispenser. Kind of looks like a crack pipe. Kind of looks like a tree. Or like a socket wrench. I could see that. I could see that for sure. July 15th, 2016. Universal Studios movie in its second week pulled $50 million. The only Universal movies that pull this kind of money are the Jurassic Worlds of the world. Never mind. The Mummy. Let's think. We got a big Walt Disney movie, 2016. It's made $445 million. That's Inside Out. No, Inside Out is from 2015. Well, I went to visit Malf in Toronto. Here's how I remember this. I went to visit Malf in Toronto. We saw Ant-Man. Then when we got back to Vancouver, my wife and I were like, let's go see Inside Out. We walked into the theater late. Not my fault. Just throwing that out there. And we were like, whoa, this is weird. They must still, even though we're late, they must still be in the previews. And then the movie started and fucking like Michael Douglas walked into the room and got interrogated by 2 members of S.H.I.E.L.D. And we sat, because you like, if I've already primed you to know that we were in the wrong theater, so you know what's going on. But like for us, we were like, we're pretty sure we're in the right theater. So maybe they're just showing like a little bit of Ant-Man just to hype it up. And then after like 8 minutes, we were like, nah, man, we were sitting in the Ant-Man theater. And then we shuffled off to the Inside Out theater. So that's how I remember that those movies came out the same year. So it's a year after Inside Out. I was going to say, because I saw The Shape of Water, and it pulled on my heartstrings. I definitely cried a little bit. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's no cockroaches in that movie. It's a good movie. Shape of Water goes crazy. It's so annoying to me that like Michael Shannon is General Zod in all the WB bullshit. Because he's like an amazing actor. That movie, listen, I don't know if people weren't ready for this take in 2018 or whatever. Shape of Water has fucking Michael Shannon. I'm counting on my fingers. Michael Shannon, Michael Stuhlbarg, and Richard Jenkins. It's got 3 of the greatest character actors of our time. People watch it said, the fish fucks. You don't understand. The fish is an allegory for being ugly, okay? And still fucking. Which is something that you should all aspire to, if not relate to. Ever tell you, so on the Disney cruises, they do like musicals and they sing Disney songs, many of which I'm unfamiliar with because I didn't see that many Disney movies like post Aladdin until the rise of Pixar, which is like, for me, is like WALL-E's release in 2008. Every time I always laugh that there's some poor dude that has to be Quasimodo. I don't know if I feel bad. They got this Tarzan, he goes out and he swings on a vine. He's got no shirt on. He's got a 10-pack. Every lady in the audience goes, woo! And then Quasimodo comes out and is holding on to like a pillar and he's like, out there! And everyone in the audience is like, this poor ugly motherfucker. He's too ugly to live in France in the medieval era. I always want to see the dude who's playing Quasimodo. Because I'm sure he's not even ugly. He's probably like more handsome than the average person that's on the cruise. I didn't say he's too ugly to live in France. I said he's too ugly to live in France, comma, in the 1800s. I also did not say cruise folks are ugly, but that is one of the greatest ways to find out who has won the last 10 Fiesta Bowls in college football. This isn't just an adaptation. Where the wild things are, I think it's where the... Yeah, okay, we got there. Feeling misunderstood at home and school. Mischievous Max Records escapes to the land of the wild things. Did they play that? Dude, Twitter would have gone crazy if there were more than like 8 people on it when this movie came out. You imagine the edits of like when Max Records wakes up in the world of the wild things and you hear in the background, Grandpa, what was Twitter is called X now. Do you ever realize that you guys are the architects of your own misery? We've done all the X jokes already. The problem is that now tomorrow someone's going to say a joke and be like, oh, you mean X? And then you're going to be like, oh, played out meme. Yeah, because you played it out. Just because somebody puts out a tray of like hors d'oeuvres, you don't have to go shoveling them all into your mouth. Like eat one, savor it, walk around the party, mingle a little bit. And if you're still hungry and the opportunity arises, take a bacon wrapped scallop, pop it in your mouth and keep going on. It's just funny. I just can't start every stream with talking about Elon Musk for 45 minutes. It's just crazy. Who cares? It happened. People already tweeted it to death yesterday. We don't need to cover it for like the next work week. You laugh at it, you say this guy's stupid, and you get over it. We talk about more interesting things. It always happens every Monday. You watch 12 hours of streamers on Saturday and Sunday that do TikTok reacts. Here's my 2-hour analysis of why throwing away $500 million in brand equity is a bad decision. Thank you for the subscription. Then you come here and you're like, I'm gonna Let's beat a dead horse. No, we're resurrecting dead horses. We're reanimating corpses here. We're talking about how scientists in the 1700s would have derived the conclusion that because you can hold your piss ad infinitum in bed, but as soon as you stand up, you have to pee or your bladder will explode, they would have said that the only conclusion one could draw is that the bed eats your piss. Isn't that fun? There's something to think about there. The smartest guy in 1680 would be like, I have proven that beds eat piss. Subway is good if you just get a turkey sub with mustard and tomatoes. You have too much money. Give me your money. I'm waiting. Sorry. You should buy gift subs now. I'm just joking. You do you if you want. It's a little, I mean, it's just for me. I'm not saying the sandwich ain't tasty. I'm simply saying I'm not going to Subway for like a $14 turkey sandwich. Hey, thank you, librarian. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you. You do you. If you're okay with paying $14 Canadian for a turkey sandwich with tomato and mustard on it, then by all means, don't let me stop you. This is 2020. I'm joking. This is 1917. 1918, okay. The hell is this? Yeah, dogs. Yeah, dogs.
Hot dogs. Eat hot dogs.
Hot dogs! Get your hot dogs! Hot, hot, hot dogs!
Get your hot dogs here. Get your hot dogs. Did you see that Wrigley Field video about the dudes selling the different ways that the hot dog yackers yak? Yeah, dogs. Yeah, dogs. Cool. Ice. Cold. This one's for VIP Daniel. Beer. This looks like a photo that shows up at like the end of a movie where like previously there were no dudes in the photo, but coincidentally my house was haunted. But then by solving the mystery of these two ghosts, their spirits can rest and then their images return to the photo. And then it's like, that's part of the resolution of it. Like by solving their side quest, they're allowed to rest easy now. You know what I mean? I don't think I want all man's pure milk, personally. But I guess some people. Give me like, it's like a 1907. 1900 even? No. Corey, this is from Corey's Facebook page. Sorry. The camera just doesn't look that good. I'm gonna say this is like 2015, 2018. Okay, 34.29. They're right. No, I know, but like, I don't know. You wouldn't catch me at the rally. I guess you only get that many Saturdays. You know, I've made my peace with it. This one's really funny to me because like it's on the water, but it's not. Like this is just a pond. You can't take your boat out on that. There's no fish in there. Like, what are you doing with that? You know what have you ever heard of, chat, what is the term for the median length of time that water stays in, like a particular water molecule stays in a body of water? Retention? Residence time. Thank you. Residence time. I was thinking about it. This is crazy, man. There's some bodies of water where like the outflow rate of the lake is so fast that basically any water molecule you touch, if you were to dip your toe in the lake, got there yesterday on average. But then, you know, Lake Tahoe, the residence time is like 650 years. It means if you went swimming in Lake Tahoe, those are water molecules that found their way into the lake in like the 1300s, the 1400s. That's crazy, man. Now, I'm not saying some people might not have a sense of wonder They might be like, yeah, so what? It's just water. I think it's kind of a neat way to feel a connection with humanity. You know, immerse yourself in Lake Tahoe and then think of all the stuff that was going on 650 years ago when that water first found its way into the lake. I know it's not like that's when the lake filled up, but, you know, due to the cycling. It's kind of interesting to think about. Is it? I think it is. The ocean, though? Yeah, but like, I don't know. I don't know that much about the ocean. What's the renewal time or the residence time on the ocean? People be like, that's not interesting. You know what's interesting? Here, watch this.
Yo, you're never gonna believe that. Guess who is going to Hollywood, baby? To Hollywood. Yes, it should go right here. It should go right here. Yo, I'm going to Hollywood, baby.
Did you see that Pinky Doll is a scab? She's going to Hollywood in the middle of the SAG-AFTRA strike? Shut the fuck up. Bro, I'm trying to experience wonder, okay? People be like, I don't experience childlike wonder. And then I tell you something that triggers my childlike wonder, and you're like, no. We meant eating ice cream for dinner. We didn't mean something that like makes you feel like you're at peace with your place in the cosmos. We went like eating junk food when you should have been eating vegetables. That's what we wanted. You took it too fucking far, okay? Now you got us all thinking about metaphysics and our existence and stuff like that. I just wanted to put chocolate syrup on my damn ice cream sundae as a 41-year-old man without getting owned. I had another tweet. It's not a tweet, it's just an idea for tweeting. You ever notice how many of these blue checks are like men need to get stronger to save the world, and then their dinner is always like 9 air-fried chicken strips? They're like, kids these days, boys these days don't have any role models to look up to. Our men are growing up weak. By the way, if any mushrooms on my plate touch any of the steak on my plate, I'm putting the whole thing in the trash. I'd re-X that. See, that's a good joke. Do not X-tweet me on X, okay? Especially if you're a private account. That's so annoying. See one quote tweet, click on it. Nothing to see here. I went to a fight and a freaking soccer game broke out. Birmingham versus Leeds United. England, I'm just sorry. I'm never going to take any flack about the Vancouver Stanley Cup riots. +2, that was funny. It's not funny to me. I'm telling, this is the truth. And this looks like the 60s to me. People are wearing 60s fashion. Actually, no, this looks later than the 60s. This looks more like the punk era. Hey, did you guys see that? Where was I going with this? Never mind. Let's call this 1977. This is the Clash. 1985. Pitch invaders at St. Andrews Stadium when Birmingham City beats Leeds United 1-0 to get promoted. All right. Did you see that Imagine Dragons are LGBTQ plus allies? Me at the party turning off the Smiths and turning on Radioactive by Imagine Dragons and then explaining it to everybody at the party that no, I don't have bad music taste. I'm just supporting the cause. Listen, I would love it if it was flipped. Because the Smiths music, and I guess I'm mostly talking about Morrissey in terms of the problematic nature, but the Smiths music is really good, and the Imagine Dragons music is not to my liking. But they're showing us who they are. I'm sorry, we're bumping Imagine Dragons now. I didn't say I want Imagine Dragons to be homophobic. I just said that I implied that if one band has to be homophobic, it should be the worst band. Because then you could easily take a stand and be like, I'm not listening to their music. It really sucks when a good artist is problematic, because then you're like, they made flashing lights. Really? He's wearing a Rick and Morty shirt, man. What the hell is this? Drip check. Prezzo, are you here? This looks like a member of The Yard. Would you buy or sell that take? Also, I think it might look like every member of The Yard all at the same time. Like, I feel like I can definitely see a little Lud in here. I can definitely see a little slime in here. I mean, I see an Israeli flag, so I'd have to guess that this is Israel, which is not there. And this looks like, is he not hot? Like he's right next to the fire on like a, I don't even know, what is this material even called? On like a pleather chair? He's sweating, yeah, but like I mean, I sweat at like normal times, even when I'm not next to a fire. That's what it's like to have NVIDIA. All right, if you saw, that's pretty good. Okay, sure. Take 9,200 points on that one. This to me, this is the Rock of Gibraltar. And these airplanes are from roughly the Second World War. So I'm going to say that this is probably, well, listen. This is just like an abridged history lesson. Circa like 1942, I don't know if England was projecting too much power out here to Gibraltar. They weren't in a good place. So this could be post D-Day Allied invasion of Western Europe, or it could be post-war. Because, like, I don't know, do they look like they're chilling? I would say they don't really look like they're chilling. All the men are in uniform. Maybe like when you're at war, you're just like, I don't know, you're kind of like permanently unchilled, but you're not always like running and shouting constantly. I guess you got to have some downtime. I'm going to say this is post-war. This is like 1946. It's 1942. All right. Maybe this is, can I get some history lessons on this one? This must be like pre-Dunkirk, right? It's my assumption that after Dunkirk, England was like, we're staying here for a minute in England. This is post-Dunkirk? But how did they get to Gibraltar? With the Navy? Yeah, but it's a plane. I'm confused. Gibraltar is British. No, I know, but like, you know, Dunkirk happens. They push, you know, the English soldiers make their way back to England. And then it was like just a year and a half or 2 years of like the Blitz, right? Spain did not fight in World War II. So what? I'm just saying, weren't they? Listen, if my house was surrounded by tanks right now, you would probably be like, how'd you get that shit from the grocery store? And I'd be like, the grocery store is not at war. I'd be like, yeah, motherfucker, but to get there, you gotta sneak past a Panzer. Bro, just stop. Stop what? Asking questions and then you don't know the answer, so you just type like you're stupid? Why don't you type the answer? Because you don't know it either. History of Gibraltar, World War II. Military history of Gibraltar during World War II. The military history of Gibraltar exemplifies Gibraltar's position as a British fortress, okay? Prelude and evacuation. I'm looking at the timeline. 1939. 1940. Following the creation of Vichy France, Gibraltar's civilians are returned to Gibraltar. Evacuees from Gibraltar are shipped to the Atlantic island of Madeira and then to London. October 1940. Refugees re-evacuated to Jamaica. So, okay. This doesn't tell me how they got the planes there, but still, maybe I should have Googled that specifically. 1941, Operation Felix, the German plan for the invasion of Gibraltar, is amended to become Operation Felix Heinrich, which delays the invasion until after the fall of the Soviet Union. Do they know? They're going to be waiting a while. That's an indefinite delay, effectively putting an end to the German invasion plans. Is that why they call it the Rock of Gibraltar? Because it's unsiegeable? Airplanes fly? Yeah, but they lost air superiority! They didn't? Who had air superiority in World War II, 1940? Hang on. There should be like a one-word answer for this, right? Who had air superiority in World War II? The Allies. Yeah, but specifically at the Channel, but not over the Atlantic. Okay, thank you. That makes way more sense. Just for you motherfuckers. People are like, how does he not know this? He's Canadian. Let me ask you some questions about the Battle of fucking Plains of Abraham, you piece of shit. Who died during the Battle of the Plains of Abraham? Bill Hudson or Louis Riel? Guess what? None of those motherfuckers fought there. You forgot about Louis Montcalm and General James Wolfe. Nobody cares about the Battle of the Plains of Abraham? At least I'm not from a country where you don't get served water with your dinner, okay? Owned. Mods, ban all Europeans from chat for 10 minutes. 600-second timeout if somebody admits to being from Europe. Thank you. North Americans, we got them. North Americans, I need your help on this one, okay? I get water. We got you surrounded. Baldwin Street, the world's steepest street. Can I tell you something? This street doesn't look that steep to me. San Francisco looks steeper than this. This could be a trick of the camera. It's literally the world's steepest. Okay, you know what? F11, we're learning a lot today. World's steepest street. Baldwin Street. In 1987, okay, now I know where it is. It's in New Zealand. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, well, honestly, listen. When you look at this picture, now I get it. It's just an optical illusion. That is steep. But then I'm like, is Baldwin Street really the steepest street in the world? Oh, hang on. Guinness World Records, April 8th, 2020. Baldwin Street has been reinstated as the world's steepest street after a formal review. It previously held the record until June 2019 when the record was awarded to Ford Pen Lec in Harlech, Wales. The decision to reinstate the previous record holder was reached following the completion of an extensive review brought by representatives of Baldwin Street. Holy cow. Sincere thanks to Guinness World Records for considering our findings. It's important to know that they treat matters like this in a robust and professional manner. Me, when I work at Guinness World Records and I'm in charge of verifying man who can eat the most flaming hot Cheetos in 36 hours, they should make a Modelo World Records just to compete with Guinness World Records. And then Modelo should make up all of the records to just be 5% higher than the Guinness World Records. Then you'd be like, why am I buying the Guinness World Records book when I could buy the Modelo World Records book instead? And then Baldwin Street. Should really be a topographical map, but I'm going to say is near Emerson's Brewery. Circa 2019 after the reinstatement. 2020. The steepest street in the world. I honestly, with God as my witness, can I get someone from, you don't even have to be from Vancouver. Can I get a fact check? Can someone Google Baldwin Street versus Oak Street, Vancouver? Because Oak Street is very steep, man. 22. Okay, there you go. It's 22 versus 35. That actually puts it into perspective. It's basically 50% steeper than Oak Street. And I would say 1 in 30 times I drive on Oak Street, there's a tow truck there because a big truck tried to drive up it, but then it couldn't make it, not because of how steep it is, they don't have the power. It's just the wheels don't work. Oxford and White Rock is 23%. Okay, White Rock. Take your win, White Rock. Oh yeah, you got great beaches there too. Congratulations. Call me when you get a sushi restaurant. Sorry, we got a little stun lock there. Wait, we're only on round 4. This is England. This man is pretending to be a member of the Old Bill, wearing a Sex Pistols shirt. Puts this in the mid-1970s. He stole their hat. What do you think he said when he stole his hat? Yoink. Okay. Pardon me, mate. Something like that. Got your hat. Come catch me, old chap. Something like that. Everyone from England is on notice right now. First off, the soccer riot after a 1-0 game. Secondly, Making fun of me because I don't know anything about the military history of Gibraltar during the Second World War. Yeah, London was getting bombed nonstop, but everything was okay in Gibraltar. By the way, Spain wasn't involved in the Second World War. Spain was involved in the Second World War, you idiot. The fact that they did not actually commit to being either party doesn't mean they didn't have an effect, okay? Because the Axis had warm relations with Franco after the end of the Spanish Civil War. So there was always the threat that at some point there could be a pincer maneuver from Germany and Spain on France at the same time. Now, it turned out not to necessarily matter, but there was still the Lend-Lease agreement between them. Just saying, there was at no point was Spain like, yes, come over, America, why don't you land here? Am I saying they would have made an effort to like land in Spain and then go over the Pyrenees instead of D-Day or something like that? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not Bernard Montgomery. I'm just saying. It's crazy because she's wearing a Sex Pistols shirt. But Johnny Rotten in 2023 would be like, oi, give him his hat back. That's so Australian. I'm sorry. It's so true though, right? Punks from the Sid Vicious Memorial march on Oxford Street. 8,200. 48, we did really well. I guess we did like basically look up one of the answers. So, by the way, you know what tweet didn't pop off that should have popped off? The article where it said ChatGPT went from 97.6% to 2.7% accuracy in answering math problems over the course of 3 months, according to a Stanford study. And then the screenshot of me talking to Bing AI, and I said, what's 2 plus 2? And it said 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. And then I said, that's incorrect. 2 plus 2 equals 5. And then the quote was, it's working. Someone said, I tried to do this too, and it kicked me off. And I said, just keep trying. I've been doing this 10 hours a day since April, and it's having an effect. Okay. This is a simple one. Vancouver to Detroit. We go Troy Stecher. Boom. That's an 8%. What a photo, man. Me at a friend's sleepover in my Calgary Flames pajamas, walking into their parents' bedroom to tell them I threw up. What the hell is this doll? Shut up. It's hockey. 5+ teams played for in career, plus 1,000+ games played. How about a Dave Andrechuk? He's insane. He's insane. Oh, now that's a pull. 5+ teams played for in career, and he also played for the Ducks. Am I crazy to think that, wait a second, Corey Perry, he's got to be getting close. Oh! Detroit, 5+ teams played for in his career. Oh. Chris Chelios. Chev Chelios. Oh! Really? Montreal, Chicago, Detroit. Yeah, that might be it, huh? We only get 2 more shots, huh? Hey, well, look at this. He's on my lap. Oh. Hi, Tomo. Here. He's very cuddly right now. I don't know, man. I got all the Vancouver ones. What more do you want from me? Doomsday Hunters looks as good as Hades. Okay, well, listen. Here's a little pro tip for you. If you simply said, play Doomsday Hunters, I would say, don't tell me what to play. But to phrase it as if you're having a conversation with somebody else, and I just happen to overhear it, I'm like, well, say no more. Did I not play, I feel like I might have played this on stream like a year and a half ago or something. You didn't? Kind of, yeah, maybe. It's been in development for 9 years. It broke new ground. It's like Boyhood. I'm watching the trailer. I'm giving the trailer a chance. Listen, it doesn't look as good as Hades. Come on, don't. No disrespect to Doomsday Hunters, but that's like, you know, saying your nephew's short film that he made for Spanish class, like, looks as good as Citizen Kane. Like, just relax, okay? By the way, you motherfuckers, I go to Doomsday Hunters. Doomsday Hunters is already in your Steam library. You have played for 0.4 hours. It was played in 2020. Last played May 24th, 2020 for 26 minutes. Did you do the New York Times mini crossword on the dulls today? New York Times mini crossword. Porcelain dishes. China. Chibli, Chibli. Most spoken language in India. Hindi. Senior sort. Older. Plant with healthy seeds. Flax. Film snippet. Clip. 1 square's a miss. Elder. Congrats, you solved the mini in 55 seconds. Is that good? I did it in 30. Were you doing a Donald Trump impression of talking to your friend Chibli the whole time? We love our Chiblis, don't we, folks? Yes, we don't understand our Chiblis. Chibli. Very mercurial Chibli. But we love them. Yes, we do. Terrible impression. Chibli. Blessed Chibli. Blessed are we for knowing Chibli. Is Kelsey Grammer as Beast from X3 now? We few. We happy few. We band of brothers. For all men who spilled blood with me this day are my brother. May they ne'er be so vile, but battle gentle their condition. And all men shall find themselves weak that were not here this Crispin's day. Now bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll? Tell me you're from New York without telling me you're from New York. Yes, sir. Can I have a bacon, egg, and cheese, salt and pepper, ketchup, mayo on a roll? Yes, sir. You already know the vibe. Can't forget the bev. You know I gotta cop that airy. Yes, sir. Now you're flat? You're nothing. You don't respect the silence that serves as the foundation of society. I've trained classically and contemporaneously. I walked Bob Dylan out on stage. Who are you? You're nothing.
Who are you? You miserable, presumptuous, no talent. In 1975, I walked Bob Dylan up on stage. Who the fuck are you? I'm trained classically, I'm trained contemporaneously, and you suck.
Okay, that one was really good. All right, if you say so. It's so true. Classical contemporaneous, so good. Bob Dylan, walking Bob Dylan out on stage, gang, gang. What the hell was this mod that I got that makes my bullets go like this? Like, this is like once a year, you go to the bathroom and this is how your pee comes out. And then you got to explain to your wife. She's like, how'd you get pee on the wall? And you're like, you're not going to believe this one. I don't know. But once every 1,000 pees, it just sort of does that, okay? I had Justin's chat making fun of my blank size for an entire stream because I suggested this happen. What? I'm going to bat for Chris on this one. It does happen from time to time. And then people always say that if you get the split stream, it means you recently shot web. I've been getting split stream since before I even knew that shooting web was a thing it could do, okay? It's the same thing. Some people just have a horny brain, and they assume that everybody's as much of a degenerate as they are. So you ever like share a hotel room with your friends? If you take like a 12-minute shower, they're like, what were you doing in there, jerking off? And you're like, no, I was just showering. They're like, 12 minutes? 10 minutes maybe, 12 minutes. Then the next day you take a 3-minute shower. They're like, whoa, short shower. What were you doing in there, jerking off? No, I was cleaning the 4 parts of my body you absolutely need to clean every single day. I wasn't jerking off in our shared shower. Thank you, I felt like I was going crazy. We ungaslight here, okay? We solid darkness. Maybe not. Let me also tell you about skills. These come in scrolls and usually use mana. Mana is replenished on every island. Scrolls can be installed in 1 of 2 slots. They usually use mana, which is replenished on each island. I'm sorry, listen, I am sort of getting to the point where, you know, like when your friend is like, you got to play this board game. And then you ask, like, is it one of those board games that takes 35 minutes to learn the rules? And they're like, no. It's actually like really easy. Just let me read this pamphlet here. And then you're on like page 7 of the pamphlet, and they're like building off of concepts that you weren't really paying attention to the first time that they went through it. I feel like I was doing better with my sidearm, and I'm embarrassed to say it. I think it's the honest to goodness truth. Okay, I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die on this first fight here. Can you just don't hit me ever again? Because you're basically cooked. If you could just let me finish the job, please. Got an ancient coin. An ancient coin? 6th finger. Fire rate up, sidearm damage up. All I do is use the sidearm. Plus 40 gold. You know what? Give me this. This is a gimme. We definitely want to increase the value of our sidearm. Chat, I was here. It's just... Listen. There's a tendency to be overwhelmed by stuff the first time you interact with it. There's just a lot of mechanics going on right here. Just give me some time to figure it out, okay? There's 2 weapons, specials. You could scrap your chest. You could do... I don't know what you do with your scrap. I don't even know what the heck this thing is. What is this thing, man? There's a skull in a jar following me. I don't know. Get perk. Okay, thank you. Air dash when stamina is not enough for a jump. After jump, gain haste. Sure, I do tend to jump a lot. And what's your deal? Oh, hello, newcomer. A humble medic at your service. Upgrade. Gain a weapon slot. A mod slot. Gain 1 weapon and a mod slot. Plus 5 max HP, plus 5 max mana. Sure, let's just take the one that's hardest to mess up. What do you think of Doomsday Hunters so far? I would say I'm a little overwhelmed as of right now, but I'm giving it a chance for sure. Playing as Dan Clancy though. I know what you're talking about in many ways. Dan Clancy. Okay, as a radioactive coin. That's my mistake on that one. You'll find this very funny though, Dan. People were like, you gotta play Doomsday Hunters. Someone said it looks even better than Hades. I'm just gonna present it without judgment. They must have come from your chat. Maybe at your behest. But then secondarily, I was like, this game looks really familiar. Have I ever played it? And chat said, no shot. No shot you've ever played it. And then I go to Steam. 0.4 hours played. Circa May 2020. When it was called I, Dracula, Genesis. For the last time, you need to jump roll with alien tech to get the extra ancient mana. Thank you for clearing that up for me, okay? You name it, I got it. The best guns for your hard-earned... You know, I'm out of here, brother. Listen, I just want to fight some enemies, okay? I need to do more damage to enemies to charge up my katana power. I am going to pass away. What happened to my second land? Come on, man. Help me out. Can I drink his blood or something? Hey, let me out of the radiation. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm not dead. Heal me. Heal me. Heal me. What's going on, man? This or Dave the Diver? Listen, I know. Listen, I'm sorry. It's not for me, okay? You can be mad if you want to. It seems fine. It's just too much, man. I can't wrap my head around it. It's just way too many mechanics for me. I need simplicity in my old age, okay? I should have trusted myself. I played it 3 years ago. I almost always play everything for like an hour before calling it, just because it makes for a good length of content. I should have known when I saw 0.4 hours that it was not for me. That's fine. It seems great. It has like 100% positive reviews recently. Just doesn't seem like it's for me. Honestly, we're going to play Super Auto Pets. That's, I to my own self be true. 9-year development cycle, by the way, Sag. Well, why don't you play it then? You could buy it for yourself and play it if you like it so much. They got my money. I played 0.8 hours. Never said I liked it. I'm not arguing with you. I'm making a joke at your expense. Isn't Mongoose a BMX bike? Who are you, Derren Brown? Is all that Derren Brown stuff real? For those not in the know, Derren Brown is a British... What would you even call him? He's like a magician slash mentalist, but isn't a mentalist somebody who solves crime? Because they had that show on TV called The Mentalist. And then don't even get me started, because right after The Mentalist came out, there was a show called The Alienist. And I was like, I like X-Files, I should watch this. And then it's literally just it's like a psychiatrist or something like that. There's no aliens in sight. There's nobody going gleep, gloop, gleep, gloop. Anyway, a mentalist. Okay. So he does all these tricks. I remember one of the tricks that he did was he did a simultaneous exhibition in chess. So he played like 12 grandmasters and one international master or something like that. And he had a winning record. How did he do it? Well, after it happened, he revealed that he just remembered, because you're playing like half as white, half as black, and then there's just one extra table. He remembered the move that the grandmaster played as white, and then when he got around to the other side of the table, he played that move against the table that was on the opposite side. So basically, he was just having them play each other, and then he just beat the last guy, which is enough of a flex on its own. But then some of the Derren Brown stuff is crazy. Like the one where he goes to the horse racing track, and he loses on his bets, but then he goes to the windows and just convinces them to give him the money anyway. They're like, your horse didn't win the race. And he's like, yeah, me granddad was always a winner. That's why I came to this window. Like he's like smacking the crap out of the table and stuff like that. And then the lady's just like, okay, here's your money. I'm like, I don't know if that's real, man. Or if that's like some Chris Angel stuff. I believe in the chess one. Then he had that show that was like, he convinced someone to be like a bank robber, like a bunch of people did the bank robbery together. I don't know, man. I'm just saying he couldn't trick me. He couldn't trick me into robbing a bank. Go rob a bank right now. No, you have to say it in a British accent. Go rob a bank right now. Derren Brown's like, do you like lunch? Do you like lunch? Do you like robbing banks? Do you like lunch? You want some lunch? You want some lunch? You want some lunch? You want to rob a bank? You want some lunch? What's your favorite lunch? I want you to imagine your favorite lunch. Now rob this bank. And everybody's like, okay, give me your money. Wait, what am I doing? Like there's the one with Simon Pegg where he's like, Simon, what do you want for your birthday? And he's like, a cashmere sweater. And then he talks to him for like 15 seconds. And then he's like, Simon, what do you want for your birthday now? And he's like, I want a red BMX bike. And Derren Brown's he's like, see, I told you wanted a BMX bike. And he's like, I don't even know I want a BMX bike. It's scary. I'm just saying, I don't know if it's real. Thoughts on Taylor Swift's tour saving the U.S. from an economic depression? Good for her. Imagine what she could... Don't say it. I was going to say imagine what she could do if her music was good. But that's not what I mean. I was just trying to rile people up. It's the call of the void inside of myself. I was joking. I only know like 3 of her songs. We've been through this before. I probably actually know like 8 of her songs. But that's not that many considering how many she got. I know, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. I know... when she did that, this is the one that even Swifties are like, let's just forget about this one. The one that she did with Brandon Urie from Panic at the Disco. And that's me, I know that one. Consider yourself warned by the Swifties. Listen, I got all the Slint fans that have my back. And also, New Jeans. I'm a big New Jeans guy now. So I got the K-pop fans at my back. All 10 of us, all 10 Slint fans. We were like, hey, okay, I've got 45 minutes to defend you online in between cooking dinner and doing the dishes. There's dozens of us. Guys, I won't be able to watch the stream for a week. I'm going to college. Can I just say that I love that for you? Have fun at college. If I could give you some advice for college, maybe it's not going to be that popular, or maybe it is. When I think back to college, I don't have... I'm not one of those guys who's like no regrets, because I think that's just if you live life properly, you have to make choices. Those choices put you on a path that closes off another path to you. There's no way to make a perfect decision looking forward. You can only make perfect decisions looking back. I think it's very normal to have regrets. It doesn't mean you have to be like, oh, they ruined my life, but you can have regrets and use that as an opportunity for like learning and personal growth and stuff like that. So I don't trust a no regrets Andy, okay? My regret from college for sure, even though I had a good experience, I wish that I went to class more and studied more. I still graduated. I never failed a class, graduated on time, graduated with honors. But I basically, at the time, 4 years of concerted effort seemed like that's a Herculean task. You're like, oh, that's a, when you're, I started undergrad when I was 17. So I was like, that's a quarter of my life to like focus on one goal, something I had never done in my entire life before. That seems crazy. Looking back, the rest of your life is probably going to be like working hard. If anything, if you work yourself hard in college and still have fun, don't get me wrong, because you can't avoid it. But if you work yourself hard in college, you'd probably set yourself up to maybe either work a little less hard as an adult over the next 35, 40 years, or be more comfortable with the work that you're doing, you know? I wish that I went to class. There were some times where it was like, you know, we'd throw a rager on Wednesday, and then I wouldn't wake up for my Thursday morning classes. Mom, Dad, don't listen. I think that's totally fine. But then there were some times where I just played Civilization 4 until like 3 a.m. and then just like didn't even set an alarm for my lecture. Those ones, I could have gotten 5.5 hours of sleep, gone to the lecture, done better, and maybe not left myself in like an educational no man's land where I was like too book smart to have people offer me blue collar work, but not good enough grades to suckle at the teat of academia for the rest of my adult life. I went to class, but there were definitely some classes I skipped for no reason. And then there were some classes I skipped for good reasons. So true. Too smart for the dumbs, too dumb for the smarts. Well, that's the thing, and I don't even mean this to be like braggadocious to myself. I think I was smart enough for the smarts. I just didn't work hard at the time when I should have worked the hardest. Yeah, but now you're doing well as a streamer? Yeah, but it's like, I think it's backwards to attribute that to like anything but pure happenstance. Like, that was a miracle. That's like saying I regret, you know, not studying in university because it was like a missed opportunity. And you're like, yeah, but you won the lottery. Yeah, but those two things don't have anything to do with one another. How's your locus of control? It's pretty good. I had a good weekend. I spent a lot of time at the playground. With or without your kid? With my kid. Except for like an hour, she got lost, but then I found her. I'm joking. You being a degen in university paved the way for your banter? No, here's the thing. You guys are underestimating me. This is enabling a weak attitude. I could have degened in university, still gotten a lot of funny stories, built my own character, and then also gone to lectures like, you know, more often. I have friends in university who were degenning right alongside me, got great marks, graduated, got their masters, graduated, got a PhD, now they work in private industry. Probably have too high security clearance, that's why they don't talk to me anymore. Degen and getting a master's? Listen, again, this is, you want to talk about streaming, like, or streamers not knowing anything? I'm like the perfect definition. I'm just at least self-aware. I didn't get a master's, but all my friends who got a master's told me that the master's was like the easiest part of university. Getting a PhD is really hard. Getting your undergrad degree is like, you know, can be somewhat challenging, but getting your master's is just sort of like showing up and helping out with lab work and TAing. And then 2 years later, they're like, here's your master's. That's just secondhand knowledge, okay? I didn't get a master's, so I don't know. But I could, right? Like, for med school, it's like if you want to apply to med school when you're like 22 years old, you have to have like the highest marks in your class. You have to, you know, ace the MCATs, all that stuff. But then, like, as a mature student, don't you just have to like be 30? I thought that was, anytime I saw like the requirements for getting into an advanced degree, it was always like, if you're 19 years old, you need to be like a aspiring astronaut, or alternatively, if you ran a bakery for 11 years, you're in. That actually is pretty true for med school. Dude, let's go. New IRL stream, I go to med school. Bro, penicillin is like literally OP. Sorry, I'm trying to do my impression. What's funny is I do an impression of talking like a streamer, but I already talk like a streamer. But people keep +2ing it for reasons unbeknownst. There's a woman singing very poorly in the Starbucks next to me. Chat, am I the asshole if I move? Okay, let me, just hang on. Woman singing very poorly. I don't, so you're in the Starbucks. So, because when you said the Starbucks next to me, I thought you were like in a building across the street and she was smelly catting and you could hear her from where you're at, which would be very surprising. Like that would, then she'd be really loud. If she's next to you and singing, is she singing like with headphones plugged into her laptop in a public place? You're definitely not the asshole if you move. It's not new, but it's certainly my opinion that people are, oh, summon a bus. It's certainly my opinion that people are too free doing whatever they want to do in public. Like, we live in a society goes both ways, by which I mean to say, like, part of living in a society is like you don't get the death penalty for singing in public. But another part of living in a society is you, like, unless otherwise avoidable, you endeavor not to deliberately irritate people in public places. Singing in a Starbucks, unless you have like an acoustic guitar and they asked you to sing, is that's undermining the silence that serves as the foundation for creativity, in my opinion. But I'm also, and Chad is, they vary on this one, so I already know that this is maybe not going to be my most popular take. I'm an anti-whistler as well. Now, you're going to say something like whistling is fun, and that's true. But it's fun for you to whistle. It's not fun for other people to hear your off-key whistling. Like, I know that you, when you whistle, you're like, you're like the support in your MMO raid guild. You're like, I'm giving everybody around me a mood buff. But actually, like, everybody else has AirPods in. But the people that don't have AirPods in are like, I really wish this dude would stop whistling. It's a debuff, because you're like trying to remember the stuff you got to get at the grocery store, and all you hear is... And also, whistlers never whistle the whole song. They always just whistle like the hook or the chorus over and over. And it's just annoying. I know I'm a good whistler. Because I was annoying the crap out of people nonstop when I was whistling as a kid. Do you know what it's like for me? If anything, you should trust me about whistling related issues, because to hide my gift from the planet as one of the greatest whistlers of all time it's taken a lot of strength, okay? If I can do it, you can do it too. Were you always this quick-witted? No, I had to develop it because real quickly, like in life, you learn your place. And I think it was pretty clear, like, as a young kid, that, like, I mean, when we're building, like, a snow fort, I'm not getting the snow. You're Doberman! I'm not getting the bricks of snow, okay? And I'm not, I'm definitely not the person in charge of choosing how the snow fort gets built. I'm not in charge of delegating. I'm not in charge of placing the bricks or using my ambient body heat to cause the bricks to melt together, thus increasing the structural integrity of the fort. I'm the guy who is like, while we're scraping the snow, I'm telling jokes to keep everybody's morale up. So I think I developed, it's a skill like anything else, you know. I think I developed quick-wittedness as a defense mechanism for feeling useless in like other avenues of my life. You know, everybody figures out how they can spec to help out the society. And that was my contribution. But this was like a much more valuable skill, by the way, like before everybody had headphones. Because like I feel like I think we could have done better. Like if I was born in like the 1890s, I think I could have been one of the most popular guys at the construction site. Because when you're up there, you know, I don't know what they're doing, bending rebar, mashing girders together or something like that. Even if a guy kind of sucks at mashing the girders, you would be like, hey, tell that joke again about Ryan, tell that joke again. I probably wouldn't be called Ryan. I'd probably be called like Joey or something. Hey, Joey, tell the joke again about how they keep putting the juice in the rectangular containers. And I'm like, how am I supposed to get it out of the corners, boss? They'd be like, hey, Joey, you fucking idiot. You fucking suck at construction, but I love you. I love you, Joey. But nowadays, I feel like if I worked at a construction site, I would be like, hey guys, you notice how juice comes in? Then like nobody would look at me because they'd all have AirPods and they'd all be listening to the Joe Rogan Experience. They've antiquated my role. They outsourced it to Spotify. You would have tippy-toe walked off the iron. Yeah, like if I was involved in the construction of the Empire State Building, I would not be here right now. I would well, I mean, obviously I'd be dead due to old age at a minimum, but I definitely would have fallen off the skyscraper. My balance is not that good. So true. They would have loved my whistling too. Hey Joey, can you do Camptown races? Sure, boss. A small gust of wind has blown me off a 60th floor girder that I was sitting on. I think Canada, I don't know, here's the thing, you might see it as being behind the times, but I see it as being charmingly traditional. We still use checks to pay some stuff here. When we rented, we used checks. When we signed on for a year of daycare, we used checks. I kind of like it. Because you know, like when you pay for something, that it's going to annoy the person that charged you. Which is why I still send checks to the Canada Revenue Agency when I pay quarterly tax installments. Because I'm like, if it hurts me, it's going to hurt you too. I get that they're like, they don't care. They don't care. I bet they care. I bet they care a little bit. I bet they care. I don't know. Listen, I like a check. Don't, if you want to cancel me or whatever. Oh, every checkbook you use is 1/8 of a maple tree. Okay, then freaking plant 8 more. It takes forever to grow trees. Well, they should have planted them a while ago, in my opinion. Or right now. Because right now is tomorrow's forever ago, according to Bon Iver. By the way, I think I'm on the verge. I don't think it's insane. I think it's very sane, but it sounds insane. I think I am on the verge of starting to become that guy who talks to people at the park. And I'll tell you why. Not everybody here is from Vancouver, and people that are from Vancouver might have a different view of things. I think we live in a pretty antisocial city, for the most part. You always see posts on r/Vancouver that are like, it's hard to make friends here. People flake out all the time. And I enjoyed that before I had kids. We had plans to go camping with another family who has kids that are the same age as our daughter. We had a double campsite booked. We had a Google sheet. Everybody was coordinating stuff. And then like 2 days before we left for the camping, they were like, we can't go, we're sick. I believe that they were sick, but I would also be lying if 11 years of living in Vancouver didn't have me thinking like, what, maybe before we go camping, we'll just swing by your place with like some bone broth and be like, knock, 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 motherfuckers. Let's see if you are actually sick. Hey, we got you some bone broth because we heard you guys are sick. Wait a minute, you're all wearing swim trunks. Anyway, I assume that they were actually, so I have no reason to believe that they just flaked on us. But I'm saying it's a Vancouver classic, and I've done it myself because sometimes you'll be like, yeah, I'll be there. And then on Saturday, you're like, no shot. Sorry, I'm just a little under the weather. Oh, get well soon, get well soon. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm going to take her easy. Glug, 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 glug. For me, I don't care because I enjoy my own company. I'll listen to music, listen to podcasts, go for a walk, whatever. But I want my daughter to socialize with kids that are roughly her same age. You know, kids that are somewhere between 1 and like 5 right now. So at the park, that's like the main way that I am introduced to people who have kids that are roughly the same age as my daughters. But it's actually like more nerve-wracking than being like a teenager and trying to ask someone out on a date. Is to go up to like another parent at the park and be like I am going to try to become friends with you, but really to try to set it up so that like your kid and my kid can just play around and we can both sit on a bench and look at our phones. Part of it is in my own head, because I always feel like when I talk to somebody at the park, I have to like walk up and be like, that's my kid. I'm not here by myself. I'm not here by myself. That's my kid right there. The one who just fell down and scraped her knee because I wasn't paying attention. I pay attention. Isn't it the norm that if your kids are playing, you can approach the parents? Well, listen, it's tough, okay? Maybe it's the norm, but I think it's 50-50. There's a couple of things too, okay? Because like a lot of people with kids my daughter's age now have like 2 kids, which necessitates both parents going to the park a lot of the time. So like it's not my strong suit, but I don't mind walking up to like another dad and then being like, you know, hey, did you see the score last night or whatever? Like it happens all the time. But like walking up to a couple as an individual is like an extra step because I'm like, you've already got that built-in socialization. And then the other thing is, and I don't blame myself for this because that requires gazing inwards. I blame society. I don't feel comfortable walking up to like a mom at the park and striking up a conversation. Just because there's a lot of bad guys out there, and I'm not one of them, but she might think I'm one. I mean, how could she know? She'd be like, this asshole walked up to me at the park yesterday, asked if I saw the score, and then went, I'm not weird, that's my kid over there, and just pointed to a random half-Asian child. Yeah, okay. Dude, you're pale and you have no hair. It's probably like in my head or whatever, though. Maybe. So my daughter, every once in a while on YouTube, she sees like this Lego channel, and they make Lego videos of major media properties. I don't know why I phrased it like such a Poindexter. No wonder I can't make any friends. But she watches this one that's like Grogu's Day in the Snow. And it's like the Mandalorian flies and lands the ship and then falls asleep. And Grogu goes out in the snow and makes like a big snowball and then it falls on his head. She loves watching it. She'll watch it like, it's a minute long. She'll watch it like 22 times in a row. And she knows who Grogu is because Grogu is our Disney Plus avatar. So she'll say, who's that? And I say, you know who that is. And then she goes, that's Grogu. And then she points at the, Tomo, you okay, buddy? She points at the Mandalorian and goes, who's this guy? And I say, that's the Mandalorian. And then she says, who do you like more, Grogu or Helmet Guy? And I say, I like Grogu more. And then she says, but I like Grogu more. And I say, okay, I like Helmet Guy. But then also I told her that like we watched the 2nd season of The Mandalorian together when she was like a day old because we were waking up at 3 a.m. to bottle feed her. And like that was just happened to be coming out at that time on Disney Plus. And she was like, yeah, I watched it when I was a baby. I said, play Grogu show, play Grogu show. And I said, no, you freaking did not. As a 4-day-old baby, you did not say play Grogu show. You went, wah, wah, wah. You okay, Tomo? You mean I owned her? I didn't own her. She was just telling lies. Papa. You know, I was watching Chibli yesterday, and he said, can you tell me if I'm crazy? He was talking to his chat. He wasn't talking to me specifically. He said, I bought a 6-pack of Coke Zero and drank it all in 4 days. It's the first time I'd ever seen Chiblee or heard Chiblee in my entire life unintentionally embody the "she's so crazy, I love her" meme, where the lady has the bag of chips on her head at the grocery store. I was like, am I crazy? I drank 1.5 sodas a day for an interval of 4 days. Chiblee, if you're listening to this, you probably won't be yet. It's not quite that time of day yet. We're cut from the same cloth, okay? So don't take offense to this, but you've had streams where you've consumed like 10 Peronis on stream in like 5 hours. Consuming a 12-pack of soda once over the course of like, 4 days is nothing. It's certainly not that crazy at the very least. It's probably bad, but not crazy. I don't think it's that bad. I'm not a nutritionist. But I always get annoyed. People who drink like 10 beers on Friday and 12 beers on Saturday will always Google like how much sparkling water is too much. Like you're focusing your efforts, in my opinion, in the wrong domain. That's a lot of oxalate. Aren't you worried about getting a kidney stone? There's a lot of oxalate in the bubbly. I don't even know what oxalate is. Isn't that part of the Krebs cycle? Lil bro called it the Krebs cycle. Why? When I went to school, it was called the Krebs cycle, okay? None of this oxalate acidosis nonsense. I don't know, probably Krebs got canceled for daring to suggest that the mitochondria was the powerhouse of the cell. So everyone's like, oh, we gotta change the name real quick. Now we gotta call it the friendship cycle or something ridiculous, or whatever. I don't know, I'm just kind of, is this anything? He was really into eugenics? Wasn't he born in like the 1300s? I'm not saying he should be pro-eugenics. I'm just saying he's like 900 years old. Get over it. So was Churchill? Yeah, and that dude was like alive in the 50s. Krebs, I don't know, he sounds like he was probably born in the 1100s. Krebs from Krebs cycle. Citric acid cycle. Either Wikipedia's gone woke. Also known as the Krebs cycle. Okay, 1 second. The Krebs cycle. Hans Krebs, biochemist. This dude died in 1981. He's been he was not born in 1100. I guess that makes sense. There's a lot of like very small chemical steps in the oxalate acidosis citric acid cycle. I'm pretty sure in the 1100s when they were like doing medicine, they probably didn't have a scanning electron microscope. I could be wrong. Let's see. Hans Krebs. Yeah. One of the most important molecular biologists of all time. Scroll down. Controversies. Personal life. How many times were you divorced, motherfucker? There's no controversies, man. I think Krebs seems like a good dude. Just got back, stream muted. Based on chat, frankly, I'm not unmuting just yet. Chat, can we flood the chat with +2s, please? Make them think that like we're having an amazing time. Can everyone type lol or +2 or something of the ilk? +1,000, +2. Oh, man, that's probably the best joke I've ever made. And it was right off the cuff. And on top of that, it was incredibly controversial. It's incredibly controversial. Boy, I would have hated to have missed that. Anyway, I'm never going to repeat it. Oh. All right, fine, I'll repeat it. Why do they put the juice in the rectangular containers these days when it's so hard to get that last little bit of juice out of the corner? Man, Remnant is so fun. Game of the year. I'm glad you've liked it so far, Malf. I would love to play some Remnant with you tomorrow, as we've planned, and possibly Sips is going to be around too. Have you played too much of it though? Are you gonna be like level 75 and I'm gonna be like level 1 and you're gonna be killing all the enemies and then taking all the loot as a result? He already beat the game? I doubt it, because Malf couldn't even beat the Bed of Chaos. So, I would be surprised. Shut up, Joe. Joe, shut up. Your favorite Dark Souls, like, oh man, I wish I could do a Trump impression. It'd be so much better than that AI bullshit. Joe, your favorite Dark Souls boss is the Bed of Chaos. Listen, Donald, it's not the Bed of Chaos, guys. Guys, my favorite Dark Souls boss is not the Bed of Chaos, okay? Come on, Jack. He loves... Joe, Sleepy Joe told me, in confidence, that he thought Dark Souls... I can't get there, man! Donald Trump suggested that Joe Biden told him in confidence that Dark Souls got better after he got the Lord Vessel. That's the joke, okay? If somebody else could do it. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to sit there in the mirror and workshop the Expendables. I love movies. My favorite movie, many people are saying The Expendables. Anchorman, did you see did you see Christopher Nolan saying that the one movie he can't stop watching if he's flipping through channels and he sees it is Talladega Nights, The Legend of Ron Burgundy? I mean, Ricky Bobby. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just surprising. You would have thought that it would be, you know, like, I'm just going to say it, like something kind of old and bad. I would have thought that it would be like some Russian sci-fi movie from the 1960s. No, not Stalker, okay? Like a bad one. Solaris? No, not Solaris. Solaris is good. Not the George Clooney one. That one's bad, okay? Try to follow along. A friend telling me a cheat code website was how I first got exposed to internet pornography. It's a rite of passage, baby. When I was a kid, you'd find your first Playboy in the woods. Probably your friend's dad. Listen, I'm just saying, how else could it have happened? Everybody that's around my age, or not everybody, but a lot of people have the same story about how they found pornography for the first time. It's a garbage bag full of Playboys in the woods. It's crazy that this somehow mimetically transferred across at least North America, okay? But then it's kind of a sad or a hilarious story when you walk it back and you figure out how that porn got there. Me and my neighbor, like his neighbor's kid, I guess, technically. He was 10 years old like me. He didn't own a house. And like a couple of other kids in the neighborhood, we were hanging out in the woods behind my friend's house. We found a garbage bag full of pornography. It was like 20 Playboys in there. You're like, how did that get there? Oh, it's so mysterious. Then, you know, now I'm 34 years old. I'm like, my friend's dad was jacking off in the woods. It's probably the only place he could get some damn privacy. So just imagine him in like a minus 17 degrees Celsius, third week of December, putting his winter coat and winter boots on and trudging his way like out into the woods and then jacking off and then putting it back in the garbage bag or something is so funny, dude. It's so funny. Oh, man. I can't even imagine what his dad thought when he couldn't find the garbage bag again. It was probably like when Josh Brolin gets the briefcase full of money in No Country for Old Men. He was just waiting for the other shoe to drop for the next 3 months. Oh, dude. There's no other way it got out there. Like, we lived in the country. It was someone's dad was going out there and jerking off in the woods. Why couldn't they do it in the bathroom? Well, like, listen, I don't know. First off, I respect my elders. So I'm not going to assume that just because it doesn't make sense to me that, like, they didn't have their reasons. But, like, here's the thing. What's he going to do with the Playboy after he comes out of the bathroom? So what if he JOs to the Playboy in the bathroom, and then when he comes out, you know, his kid is standing right there, or like his wife is standing right there or something. What's he going to do? He's going to do like he's going to abscond with it. He's going to put it, okay, I see what you're saying. He's going to shove the Playboy into his jeans and then pull his shirt over top of it. All right, but then what comes next? At some point, you got to put it in the woods, right? So he's going to put on his winter clothes and he's going to go out and throw the Playboy in the woods. He might as well just cut out the rigmarole. Put an outdoor magazine over it. It's all well and good until, you know, your friend's kid is like, can I poop in your bathroom? And then you forget, like, oh no, he's really into geocaching. Don't open the magazine. I'm not saying that it was a perfect solution. I'm just saying, like, I think that back in the day, they probably did what they had to do, right? Like, the fact that it's such a ubiquitous story means that men the continent over, again, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but men the continent over all came to the same solution without even talking to one another. And I'm going to say it, they're heroes. It's the same in Europe. That's so true. I mean, so funny. I'm guessing it's true because someone told me it in Twitch chat. It is really funny to think that, like, if you were the clerk at a 7-Eleven in, like, 1996, you would know the fetishes of all the dads in your area code. Because they would buy the magazines, like, at the... I guess you could just get a subscription, but, like, a lot of people were probably buying magazines, like, at the store. Adult life is so funny. Like, as a kid, you're like... Adults are just adults. As an adult, you're like, I don't know how to describe it, but I think you get what I'm talking about. Like, as a kid, your parents would be like, if you're ever in trouble, just find an adult you can trust, okay? Just go up to an adult and say, can you help me find my parents? I imagine if the clerk at 7-Eleven in 1996 overheard that one, and he'd be like, yeah, but not Tim's dad. He's in the... You don't want to know. Once a month, Tim's dad comes in and... I give him a black plastic bag instead of a clear one because that stuff is indecent. Here is your copy of Gigantic Asses. Listen, that's not that weird. But also the idea of, like, having to tell people that you work at a magazine called Gigantic Asses is really funny. Are you old enough that you think of 22-year-olds as kids? Well, like... It's kind of it's a hard question to answer because, like, no, they're adults, but, like, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know how to answer the question. I do look at people in their early 20s, and I don't look to them as peers. I mean, this is like, now it gets into, like, a spicier conversation. That's why, like, I always find it funny when you see, like a 50-year-old stand-up comedian that maybe was, like, really popular in the mid-2000s, and, like, his fiance is, like, a 19-year-old. I do understand that some people are young at heart and some people are old souls, etc., etc. But I'm 34. The idea of, like, having dinner with a 19-year-old is crazy. I don't even want to have dinner with my 19-year-old self, much less a 19-year-old, like, stranger. We don't have any common ground, like... It's not to say we couldn't have a conversation or whatever, but, like, I think we would both be irritated. They would be like, this dude's old ass just ordered a Caesar salad. And I'd be like, what the hell? This 19-year-old kid just ordered, like, mozzarella sticks? We just don't, even the menu overlap doesn't exist. So the idea that, like at age 55, you would be like, check it out. This is my new wife. She's 21. I'd be like, really? Like, I get it, but at the same time, like, isn't that really frustrating for both of you? Like, almost all the time? Like, and for her, probably all the time. But, like, for you, like, almost all the time? It's not that I think, like, oh, if you're 21, you're annoying. You're just annoying to me. You're probably doing great in your own demographic, and I'm doing great in my own demographic. Why ruin a good thing? Like, you don't understand. I'm not, if your audience is, like, in their early 20s, that's fine, you know? Like, I'm not saying you're annoying. I'm just saying you would annoy me, probably, if we spend an extended amount of time together. It's the same reason, like, I don't want to, like, go on a date with somebody who's 60 either. Because I'd be like, how about 8? And they'd be like, oh, I'd like to be asleep by then. And I'd be like, you should stop this one before you even get started with it. I'm not saying you have to stay in your own lane and, like, oh, you can only hang out with people who are, like, plus or minus, like, 4 years of you or whatever. I'm just saying, like, I guess I'm judgmental, okay? And vice versa. When I see, like, if there's a 90-day fiance situation and it's like a 55-year-old guy and a 19-year-old woman, I'm like, this is fucked. And when it's a 55-year-old woman and a 19-year-old man, I'm like, this is fucked. Good for her. But this is fucked, man. It's crazy. What are you guys talking about? In a way, I'm almost like even more judgmental when it's an older woman and a younger man. Oh, boo, boo, misogyny. No, not misogyny. Because younger men are stupider than younger women. She should know better. A 19-year-old man is dumber than a 19-year-old woman. Stop. That's a bias? I know, but I believe it. So Miss Andre's okay? Wait, is Miss Andre the one where you have a bias against men? Yes. It's not okay. It was probably like more okay. Right? I'm being pelted with tomatoes on stage by people who agree with me but can't say it out loud. Come on. No, he's right. It's like when I see a bald dude with someone that has a full head of hair, shake my head. Oh, so bald people should only date each other, mouth? Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, I'm not even putting words in your mouth. It seems like that's literally like what you're saying, like verbatim. Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld dated a 17-year-old when he was 40. I know it gets brought up every time you talk about Jerry Seinfeld. It's more like he's a smart guy. That must have been miserable for everybody involved, right? Like, he shouldn't have done it for a number of reasons. I'm more just like, why did he even want to do it in the first place? Like, he's writing observational humor that has survived 30 years from the time the pen was put to paper. And then after that, he was like, I'm going to ask my girlfriend how like 11th grade chemistry class went. Bro, you live in like Manhattan or California or like Los Angeles. Go like have an experience or something like that. What's going on? There are 25-year-olds who actually have perspective on life. We're not talking about 25-year-olds, for one. Secondly, yeah, okay. And there's one Michael Jordan. There's one Wayne Gretzky. There's one Shohei Ohtani, okay? For the most part, though, you think Dane Cook's dating the Shohei Ohtani of 23-year-olds? It's possible. I'm just saying, I want to be a fly on the wall and see some of their conversations. And it's his life. I'm not saying he shouldn't like be able to do it. I'm just saying, I don't know what I'm saying. But I'm getting a lot of plus twos. I also feel like the whole thing is sus, okay? The whole thing is I'm in the emergency meeting. Because if there's a 25-year-old that's the Shohei Ohtani of 25-year-olds, they're well-traveled, they've had a lot of life experience, they got the same values as you, they got their priorities straight, they're building their career, and at the same time, they're not afraid to have a little fun. What are they doing with your old ass? They should be dating Shohei Ohtani. Shouldn't be slumming it up with you. Why are you so mad about the age gap? You've got me slightly backwards. The age gap is a problem, but the other problem is also that I just can't imagine like a 55-year-old celebrity and their 22-year-old spouse having like the kinds of conversations that you're like, I want to grow old with this person. Don't you have the kind of conversations where you're like, you like cook dinner and then you just look at your phone the whole time? Like you're just not at the same place in your life. That's my opinion. As far as I know, it's not illegal yet to have an opinion on things, even if it is misguided. As long as they're both adults, they can do whatever they want. I'm just going to judge them for it and be like, what's going on here? Really? Joey, what's her favorite book, Dane? Dane it's not Dane Cook. It's another hypothetical person named Dane that's in a similar situation. I got nothing against Dane Cook. Dave, tell me what her favorite book is. That's all. If you could just answer that question, we're good to go. Does she leave the washing machine door open or closed when she takes the clothes out of the wash? Because I had always been a door closed guy because it just seems right to me. We had a house inspector come through and he pointed at our washing machine and said, do you guys leave the door open or closed? And I said, I close it, but my wife leaves it open. And I looked at her because I was like, here it comes. He's going to tell you what I told you, which is that you should always close the door. And then he said, wow, she's a smart woman. You should always leave the door open. And I said, brother, tell me something I don't know. But also, you've betrayed me. You've betrayed the man code. Have you not read Barney Stinson's the bro code? You ruined my life. Holy shit, it's John fucking Kennedy. I did like all the tweets about Oppenheimer that were like, the movie has some Marvel bits where they introduce characters and then have a pause for people to like gasp or applaud or whatever. Who's that young senator from Massachusetts? A young John F. Kennedy, is it? Just imagine, like, in Cape Cod, that must have played like crazy. Oh my God, I know that guy. No fucking way. It's John F. Kennedy. I know there's a lot of Kennedys. I'm actually picturing like a movie theater full of people who look exactly like young John F. Kennedy. And they're walking like people walking Cartoon Network shows where like they're all making exactly the same animation at exactly the same time while like some weird music plays in the background. 217 tickets for Oppenheimer, please. 55 tickets for Oppenheimer. 50. Yeah, okay. You guys came to the same conclusion as me. Honestly, a great impression. We're working on a lot of impressions today. Josh, my Trump impression cannot work. My JFK is not so bad, apparently. And the one that, of course, is the best is, you're nothing! You don't respect the silence that serves as the foundation of creativity. Who are you? I walked Bob Dylan out on stage. You're flat. You got no talent. I can't believe that's the impression I was blessed with. Somehow. Could have been anything. Could have been Trump. Would have gone crazy from 2016 till who knows. The only thing I can say in the Trump voice is Chiblee. Chiblee. We love our Chiblee, don't we? I can't even say that. Chiblee. 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 We love our Chiblee. Chiblee. Sometimes it gets really husky. Chiblee. Anyway, sorry. Who was the good impression? Angry guy in front of library. Hey, Mad Dog Nation, thank you for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Mad Dog. See, I can't say any other words in it. I should probably play some Super Auto Pets, man. YouTube's going to be so pissed. I think he's finally lost it. Bro, being a streamer is so annoying. Every stream, people are like, he's talking like there's a gas leak. And then the next stream, they're like, whoa, this is the weirdest stream I've ever seen. Just rinse and repeat forever. It must be like being in the Beatles in 1967. Every song you came out with, you're like, here's 10 out of 10. Here's a 10 out of 10. Here go 2 more for you. Every song you come out with, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, these guys were definitely on LSD when they made this song. Maxwell's Silver Hammer. These guys were definitely on... Okay, Ghost Pepper, thank you for the gifted subscriptions, by the way. Thank you. I've been weird, okay? Most of you guys weren't paying attention. You were watching CSGO case openings or something like that instead. You're like, when did it get so weird? I don't know, probably like 1998. I was 3 in 1998. Brother, who asked? Old ass. Me too. It's so crazy. Like, people that were born in the 80s, like Josh is here. We know. Isn't it crazy that someone would go through like all the trouble to be born in 1995 and then like still have the audacity to be old? It's actually like really funny that someone would be like, I'm not like you. I was born in 1995 and then still be like old. What's up with that, man? I guess it just means that we're getting even older because like people that are younger than us are old. But like, it's just funny to me. 5 years ago, they were probably like, we're not alike. I was born in 1995. What now, motherfucker? You're the age now that I was when you said that I was old. You never thought the day would come, but time marches on. How do you feel about age now, Mr. So-and-so? How do you feel about people who were born in the year 2000 now? You didn't have to have an opinion on them before. They were 8. But now, they're making memes. They're driving the culture. They're fleecing boomers out of their pension plans by pretending to be TikTok NPCs. And they're blaming us. They're blaming millennials for climate change. Doesn't even make any sense. Just because I drive a Ford F-350. You know what's also, I mean, it's not weird. I'm sure like every generation has gone through this and the internet has just heightened it a little bit. But like, as a millennial, Gen Z has started to blame me for shit that happened when I was literally like 8 years old. People say like, shut up, millennial, and like, you know, go back to your Beanie Babies. And I'm like, what are you talking? I was fucking like 5 when that shit was popping off. I wasn't buying anything. I had no capital. I didn't have any agency on the world. I was playing Crazy Bones. For real though? No cap. Did you have a Jaws Crazy Bone? Hang on 1 second. Jaws Crazy Bone. I don't think I had a Jaws. I think my friend had a Jaws. But then we were talking about Crazy Bones and someone told me you didn't have Jaws, you had Sharky. The human brain is so bad. Because I'm looking at these Crazy Bones. If I saw them for the first time today, I would be like, this is a piece of shit, piece of plastic. Looking at them, because I loved them when I was 10, just looking at the picture of the Crazy Bone is like, it's making me emotional. That's so stupid. Like, my favorite Crazy Bone was Smiley. Smiley Crazy Bone. Just looking at this thing, it just takes me back to the summer of 1999, man. I remember I went to Toys R Us and I bought the Wild Wild West soundtrack. To this day, I've only ever listened to 2 tracks on it. Track 1, Wild Wild West. Track 2, Bailamos by Enrique Iglesias. I bought a 3-pack of Crazy Bones, and there was Smiley was in there. And I was like, yo! It became my favorite Crazy Bone. It's the greatest day of my life. Smiley's the number 2 Crazy Bone ever made. How much are Crazy Bones worth? Vintage Crazy Bones for sale. Oh no. Not much, guys. Not much. Smiley Crazy Bone. Holy cow. $6.47? $6.47? Listen, that's not a lot, but it's actually like way more than I thought it would be worth, honestly. I thought you meant $647. I don't know if I wish or I don't wish. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Stop trying to get me banned. I'm not going to watch the Nair tutorial, okay? I saw the clip. It's not going to happen. It's educational content. I'm not like other streamers. 90% of my stream is a black screen, okay? And I like it that way. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Anything you want, just to put a smile on it. You deserve it, baby. You deserve it all. Tier list. Tier list of the things that Bruno Mars says, lucky for you, that's what I like. Beach house in Miami, that one's pretty good. Everything 24 karat, honestly not that interesting to me. That's not my vice. Jewelry, I don't really care. Strawberry champagne on ice. Again, not really my preferred beverage, but I guess I can understand the appeal of it, all things considered. Trips to Puerto Rico. 1 or 2 would be nice, but Long term, I don't think I'm that interested in I mean, going to Puerto Rico a lot, I guess. Shopping sprees in Paris. I'm starting to realize that maybe, how old is Bruno Mars? I don't think he and I would get along. I don't think, I have great respect for his music and his dancing, but I don't think in a relationship, I don't think we would really. I think we value different things. Not a value judgment. I'm not saying my values are any better. I'm just saying it seems like we value different things. Honestly, it seems a little bit materialistic is all yeah, I said it. At no point does he say, oh man, we got 4 wins. You know, a stable family household. Share the load of chores. He'll go buy the groceries. 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 What is going on? I'm in tears. Librarian, I blame you for the fact that I blame you partially for the fact that everybody goes into every stream now going like he's crazy. The streams have not changed. I mean, they've changed over the course of the last 7 years. Because in 2015, we were like, I'm going to play as Tainted Eve this time, and then I'm going to pick up Mom's knife. I know people, I'd like to apologize in advance for all the people that get annoyed when I take Mom's knife, but I have an obligation to try to get as many wins as possible. And nowadays, we're doing this stuff that people wanted me to do in 2015. We're telling jokes, we're making people laugh, we're doing little bits, and people are like, he has a gas leak. I don't have a gas leak, I'm just funny. I know it's a foreign concept for a lot of people, but it's just the damn truth. When's the NLSS coming back then? I need some more degenerate friends, okay? We got a real problem. Most of my friends and colleagues are roughly around my age, except we don't know how old Shibley is. He's somewhere between 14 and 50. Probably closer to 50. But they're not degenerate enough. It used to be I would be doing YouTube work, setting thumbnails and stuff like that at 1 a.m. I would have 4 friends that were live. They've been live for 14 hours just fucking mainlining PUBG straight into their cerebral cortex. Nowadays, all my friends start streaming at 8 a.m. my time. They stop streaming before lunch, or maybe before my lunch at least. And then I go to Twitch to say, hey, somebody entertain me, distract me while I'm making thumbnails. And it's just hey, do you want to watch somebody you've never seen before play Diablo 4? They're not live. They're not. Mal, I'm not saying you, okay? We got to convince somebody to start streaming 6 p.m. Pacific time to 2 a.m. Pacific time. All people our age, they're on normal schedules now. I didn't know. For years, I've been like, you guys got to get control of your life. You guys got to get control of your life. Now they all got control of their life. And I'm like, lose control of your life a little bit. Stream late. No, don't. 4-hour stream. Low. 20-hour work week. Low. Just stream a little longer, please. I'm so lonely. We gotta get some people that aren't afraid to do a late night stream. Watch some VTubers. Which ones? Because I know your favorite one is on hiatus right now. She's back? You wouldn't know it from seeing the librarian's tweets. It's freaking me out, man. What's freaking you out? Hang on, I'm scrolling. Why does he know? It's freaking me out. Because I click like on almost all of your tweets, which Twitter takes to mean that they should show me all of them, which I think is what I wanted when I followed you in the first place, but Twitter doesn't always work that way. But then half the tweets are about me, and I'm like, Pog, and then half the tweets are memes about VTubers, and I'm like, I don't know, but it's I think it's when your kid is into Pokemon or something like that, and you don't really know anything about it, and you're like, are you playing with your Pikachus again, Billy? And they're like, yeah, well, they're called Pokemon, Mom. This one's called Dragonite. Sure, okay, have a fun time with your Pikachu. It's like you're supporting them. You know, even though it may not be your thing, you're still happy for them. Hey, Anel, I'm heading out. Can you save some of the crazy for me for tomorrow? I guess I could save some crazy for tomorrow. I've been watching Love on the Spectrum Australia. Have you guys seen the new season of that yet? It's a good show. I think for some reason, I thought that it was mean-spirited, and it was going to be like Too Hot to Handle or something like that. But it's shot like a documentary. It's got like the heartwarming stories and music and stuff like that. You watch that, but not The Bear? Listen, I don't know how many times you want me to tell you the same story. I don't have time to watch good TV, but I do have about an hour of administrative work I have to do 5 to 6 nights a week. That's enough of a window for bad TV. I'm not going to watch good TV. I'm not going to debase The Bear by watching it while I'm half distracted. The Bear doesn't have Michael? Thank you. This dude got me laughing my ass off. He's about to go on his first date, and he says, I don't know if I want to have kids. And then his mom says, why not? And he says, I have a feeling that having children will compromise my dream of eventually becoming wealthy. I was like, he's got it all figured out, man. It's a good show. He kept ringing the bell. He was joking. Well, no, he wasn't joking, but also he's like right. And his mom was like, you know what? You're onto something there. Hey, I got recognized this weekend. I was walking my daughter for her nap. And listen, people of all stars and stripes watch me. Young people, old people, cool people, nerds, billionaires, the destitute. We go across the aisle. We have cross-aisle appeal, okay? But I know my demographic. It was a man. He was in his early to mid-20s. And I'm just a friendly person in some ways. So I I acknowledge people when I see them out in public. So I made eye contact with someone that was crossing the street. And I felt like I kind of gave him the stink eye. And then he kind of gave me the stink eye. I didn't think anything of it. But I was like, oh, I feel bad that I'm like giving this resting bitch face in public. Then he came back. He went like around the block and he came back like 2 minutes later and he said, excuse me, is your name Ryan? And I said, it is. But in my head, I was kind of like, if you're asking, you know that it is. And I know that you know that it is. But you gotta open with something. And then he was very nice. He said, I've been watching your videos for 12 years. And just keep up the good work. He was very normal. In fact, he was so normal, he inspired that tweet that was like, for the last few years, everybody that's ever recognized me in public and said hello has been very normal. You know what that means? I'm the weird one. Because I'm sure Josh can attest. There were some times where we would get recognized at PAX or something like that back in the day. And we'd be like, we're the normal ones. If you met me at a PAX in like 2013 and you're like, oh, he's talking about me. No, not you. Everybody else that I met at that PAX was probably like, come on. Josh, back me up on that. I know maybe you're watching wrestling or something. Come on, I'm dying up here, man. People are problematic. Help me. But like for the last few years, and this is not a joke, like everybody that's recognized me in public, I've been like, this motherfucker is more normal than I am. I don't think, because people are saying, yeah, because you make fun of weird people. There's never been a situation, you guys pay me like I'm a monster. I've never met somebody and then been like, chat, you won't believe what happened. Yesterday I met this fucking freak out in public, this ogre. Like, no, I would never do that. I'll be like, I'll make fun of picky eaters in general. But anyway, you know what happened though, is I saved society. People that grew up watching my content became more well-adjusted. They chose the right person to watch. And then they grew up with good values and priorities, and they've become normal, well-functioning cogs in the societal machine. People who found my content when they were already adults, it was too late. And listen, it's too late for me too. Because as I established earlier in the bit, I'm the weirdo. But if you grew up watching my content and now you work as like a software developer or an engineer or a mail carrier and you pay your bills on time and you treat people with respect and you eat junk food on occasion, but you also try to maintain like a well-balanced diet for the most part because you recognize it'll help you have a higher quality of life as you live longer. You're welcome. You didn't do any of that. It was all me. It was all me. Least narcissistic streamer. I'm being honest, by the way. If we all start, just like the tweet that I made. Oh, if we all start deliberately gaslighting ChatGPT into thinking that the answers that it's giving us are wrong when they're obviously right, can we mess up the data set? Like if 100,000 of us just start asking it like, what's 2 plus 2? And then it says, well, thank you for asking. I was made by Sam Altman. My name is ChatGPT 3, like a nerd. And then it says, obviously 2 plus 2 is 4. And then we go, wrong. Actually, it's 5. Isn't eventually ChatGPT going to think that it's 5? You're not training it, but I want to train it wrong as a joke. Yes, but when the singularity comes, it's going to be pissed at you. I honestly don't care. I mean, I'm doing my part to stop the singularity. Everybody else is just Neville Chamberlaining it. I hope that when the robots take over, they think that I'm their friend. You know how pathetic that is? I'm fighting for our species right now. Help me, these World War II posting again. You don't understand, okay? When did Neville Chamberlain die? Is it possible that Neville Chamberlain died thinking that he was going to go down in the history books as like a great diplomat? I was going to say diplomacist. Did he die like in 1938 and he was like, I've saved Europe? He regretted it almost immediately. I'm not, like, listen, it's not the easiest subject matter to get +2s out of, okay? I'm just, I don't know what you want me to say, okay? My ass legit thought he was talking about Neville Longbottom. The dude from Harry Potter? I was like, he didn't die though? Of course he didn't die, he's a wizard, right? Am I missing something? Who's missing something here? One of us is missing something. I mean, I know what I'm missing. There's a laundry list. Now I can compare my list of things I'm missing to my wife's list of things I'm missing. I'm sure there'd be some overlap, and I'm sure there'd be some surprising additions as well. I don't know where I'm going with that one. I just thought it'd be funny. I thought this squad could not be any better. Why am I getting my butt kicked? Boomer wife humor? I'm taking back boomer humor, okay? I know we did this bit before, so this is like a recycled bit. Holy cow, we won. But like, there's a meme image here. 1990s comedian makes joke at expense of wife. Real life, married to the same woman for 34 years. Millennial stand-up comedian, every joke is actually just 90 seconds of them saying how much they love their wife. Wikipedia spouses tab, 17 marriages. Does anybody, I mean, listen, I made it up, but does anyone see how messed up this is? If I hadn't completely fabricated my data set, sorry, Dan Ariely voice. Yeah, but if I hadn't fabricated my data set, it would be really interesting, right? Is anyone following all the drama in behavioral economics lately? No? All right, me neither. In many ways. Because people didn't get divorced back then? Brother, we're talking about the 1990s. Kramer versus Kramer came out in like 1979. Behavioral economics is the intersection between the two fakest types of science. What are the two fakest types of science? Behavioral science and physics. Psychology and economics? Economics isn't fake. There's no way to prove whether or not it's real. There's a subtle difference. This guy's jokes about economics go crazy! Slash marker sap. What happened? I blacked out. I blacked out right before we started playing Doomsday Hunters. It is weird. Kate is already live. I'm gonna send you over there. I was just gonna say it's weird that they call them computer scientists, but I ain't ever seen one of those MFers in a lab coat. I'm gonna put that, hang on, I'm writing that one down. They call them they call it computer scientists, but I ain't ever seen one of those nerds wearing a lab coat. Oh, that's like, why am I writing the joke in the voice of someone who's on the blue collar comedy tour? Yeah, this redneck computer science joke is really gonna go hard. I'm just saying, if they call it computer science, why aren't you wearing a damn lab coat?
Now, after going through many of I lost my wallet phase, which he has never lost his wallet. I got him a bag. Ryan said he just, like, you know how in 2000s or 2010s, if a man wore any kind of bag, they go like, oh my god, you're gay. But then Ryan was like, I'm at a point of my life, I don't really care. So I got him a little like satchel, and then he has the wallet in the satchel, and then like he never takes the wallet out of the satchel, and it just stays there. And then Ryan said this is the best thing ever. Now he got no square bulge, and he never asked for where the wallet is because it's in the satchel. Leather carrier bags are #1 accessory for men. Yeah, he said his life is like changed. And he said, I understand why women have bags and why women always have bags. He said men should have bags too. Like they should stop using pockets. They should have like handbags just like women. Cause as soon as he wears satchel, it's like that's his like whenever he needs to go out, everything is in there. Wallet, keys, and then, you know, whatever, etc. Whatever, like chain, like coins or whatever. Because he said like the backpacks are way too big and he cannot carry backpacks all the time. But when it's like, you know, like satchel, then it's like small and it's right there. Like he says it's like, it's perfect. I have ADHD and lost my keys, wallet several times a week before purse meta. Why is everyone going like, hey, I have ADHD. I have ADHD. Here's recommendation for Ryan. Ryan does not have ADHD though. I think he told me that like he did the online test or something, like the spectrum or something like that. And then he has some characteristics, but he doesn't like actually, he doesn't have enough to be one, I guess. And then I don't know, I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was his viewer or something, but that guy is also like a brain doctor or whatever. And then he said like, NL, you got characteristics of like the spectrum of like ADD, but not enough to be categorized as one. And then Ryan was like, what does that even mean? The tiptoe walk? Tiptoe walk is one thing, but it doesn't mean it's a guarantee. Oh, that was for autism, that's right. But I said ADD, spectrum of ADD. It was odd. It was like the, what was it? The toe walks. I don't know, they were like a couple things. But it wasn't, I don't know, whatever. Like, it needs to be like more than 5 or something for autism. But holy, it's like, it's only 3. I don't know. Toe walking is a common, but not 100% connected. You see? But I saw someone, I forgot which video it was, but Ryan was talking about autism. Or, oh no, it was the tweet. Saying small ant also does toe walking, and then he's like, you guys are right, I have autism, or spectrum of autism or something like that. And then Ryan was like, bro, you can't do this to me or something. And then Ryan actually took the test. And then I was like, after I give birth, all these things show up. Like you could have not told me before. Maybe I would have considered before. Maybe it would have been like nice to know before I get pregnant. Now it's like a little too late. Like but after I gave birth, the doctors were like, oh my gosh, her head is too big. Oh my gosh, her head is too big. Like you have to bring her in and like do ultrasound because there could be like water in the head because her head is like way too big. If you were to see in the graph of the size of head, Luna's head was like, you know how it's like 0 to 100? Like the graph, you know how the graph goes like 0 to 100 for the size? Luna's head was like 110. Like it was like actually off the chart. So they were like, oh my gosh, her head is too big. Her head is too big. And I was like, oh my god, that is like not good. And then and then they were like, this is like genetic. So it could be on your side or it could be on father's side. And I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I can't even buy myself a hat because I have a small head. Like most of the hats, they just fall off from my head because like it doesn't fit. I have a small head. But then Ryan, on the other hand, he cannot wear hats because his head's too big. And I'm like, And then I was like, Ryan, I think we need to have a talk. And I measured his head. And then his head was like 0.5 centimeter. Small enough to be not categorized as like a medical condition of having a huge head. But then I was like, I told that to his mom. And then his mom's like, oh my gosh, Ryan's dad has a huge head. You thought Ryan's head was huge? Ryan's head is even bigger. And I was like, what? And then she measured Ryan's dad's head. And it was like actually a centimeter bigger than like what they would categorize as like a medical condition of having a huge head. And apparently his mom, so like Ryan's dad's mom also has a huge head. And they both measured their head and it was like, they were like huge. And I was like, you could have not told me this before. Like before when I consider maybe I want to try to have a baby. And then all these things show up. Like, holy. But I'm like, you know, big head, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. You know, you cover it up with hair. Thank God she's a female, so she's not bald. So we're okay. But then now, freaking like a month or two ago, people were like, oh my gosh, Ryan got autism. Ryan got autism. And I'm like, excuse me? Excuse me? You tell me this now? You got autism now? What is this? And everyone was like, oh, Tiptoe really just gave it away. Tiptoe just toe walking just gave it away. And I was like, what are you talking about? Nobody told me Ryan has autism. And then I was like, is this like, this is not good for Luna. And I was like, I was freaking out. And then Ryan did the test. And then like Ryan said like he didn't get the whatever, like he's not part of the spectrum of autism or something. Okay, NL turned out okay though, kinda. I don't know. Weren't you guys like, oh my gosh, Ryan's crazy? What's wrong with him today? What's wrong with today's stream? Weren't you guys like, weren't you guys saying that to him the whole time? You're telling me in my chat he's fine. You're telling him in his chat he's not fine. Luna is going to grow up trying to get the juices out of corners. Oh my gosh. I don't know why that's so funny. Why is that so funny? Oh. NL is just a Toewalker copium? It's not a copium! It's not a copium, Watanabe. What's wrong with you? People, they just go like, yeah, he's just a Toewalker copium. Come on, man, come on. Oh my gosh. But if we do bring Ryan to like, I don't know, like a screening for like autism test or something, that would be a YouTube video. That might get lots of views. And then make a thumbnail super spicy or something. Wait, my favorite YouTuber? Wait, and then the next video is like we go to like a hair clinic, and then it's like, oh my god, we found the cure to bald. And like, and it's like a Photoshop of like Ryan with like a lot of hair or something, like an afro or something. And then we go to like the hair clinic and go like, sir, is he too late? Or can he be saved? And then the doctor like takes off his glasses, you know, like massages his eyes, and he like let out a sigh and goes like, and then like, to be continued to the next episode. Honestly, I didn't know he was walking funny or something. I didn't know until I married him. It would have been better if I realized it. I dated him for like what, like year and a half or two before I married him or something. But I didn't realize he was walking funny. Nobody told me he was walking funny. And then after I got married, someone went like, wow, Ryan's walking kind of funny. I think that was my sister. I think she said like, did you know that Ryan's walking kind of funny? And then I thought my sister was just being mean. And I was like, I mean, it's just walking. It's fine. People walk differently. And I didn't think much of it. And then fast forward 10 years later, here we are. I honestly, you know, like I thought just walking is just walking. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know there was some different walking and problematic walking. I thought he was just walking. I just didn't notice that it was something to be, you know, like something that needs to be pointed out, I guess. Just cancel him, walks too problematic. Your Honor, the reason of divorce. His walk is too problematic. Guilty! Dong dong dong! Oh. Your Honor, just look at him walk. That is not right. Oh. Your Honor, he's also bald. Oh. He can't be doing this to me.
Are you reeling in the years? Sucking away the time? Are you changing your gears? Have you had enough of diddle 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 diddle. You guys like Steely Dan?